All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to an episode of the Free Skate. Today we are doing Skate America 2025 from Lake Placid, New York, where I am not. I am in my home, which is very not in Lake Placid, New York. It's not even in the United States. Things that are in, things that are out. Flipping up your sister's skirt is out. Flipping over your sister is in. That is the lesson for today. Thank you. We're going to go into... Should I start with ice dance then? No. We're gonna start with women. Okay, we're gonna talk a little bit about women. We're gonna talk about sharks and singers and stars and Alyssa Liu's and cultural appropriation. So we have Alyssa Liu won with 214.27. Rinka Watanabe was 210.96. Anastasia Gubanova was third with 204.69. Lara Naki-Gutman just barely off the podium by 0.4 of a point. Star Andrews was a star. She was fifth with 195.28. And down we have Wakaba Higuchi. That injury has still not, clearly healed properly, and she's still having trouble. She was troubling 11th, 159.40. So that's, definitely not something that she's going to want to hold on to. She's going to want to push that away and, forget about that. I just want to mention for a second, Ekaterina Kurakova. How awesome was it to see her skate such a great program? It wasn't technically like the most superior. It was technically a little bit lower than what a lot of other skaters would have, and she did also have mistakes too. However, the way she skated in a very serious program was so awesome, and it was really, really nice to see her skate with that conviction in a more serious role, because we're used to seeing her in light, fluffy rolls, happy around the ice, and which is great, but I think this kind of more dramatic role, especially in the free skate, suited her really, really well. And so that was really, really cool to see. Up with 74.35 points. Alyssa Liu was 73.73, and that was with an under-rotated triple loop on her combo. So she did have some negative GOE on that. See the components. Liu had 35 and Watanabe had 32.4, so there's a little bit of difference in that. It's really great to see a fair amount of women compared in the past trying triple axels, and successfully as well. We've seen a few this year from different ladies, so that's pretty cool. Lara Naki-Gutman was third in the short program. She had 69.69. That is a really good score from her, just shy of 70, and I'm sure she's going to get there. She's hitting composition. She's got 8, 8.5, 7.75, presentation 7.75, 8.25, 8. Same range for skating skills as well. So if she, bumps all those up by a quarter point, she is in the 70s for sure. Anastasia Gubanova with her cultural appropriation short program. I really kind of want to show my coworker her skate and be like, tell me your opinion. Tell me your opinion of this white Georgian Russian woman skating to an Indian music with a dot on your head. Actually, I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. And we'll send it to her after this. She was fourth. Chan Kim was fifth. Star Andrews. Let's talk about Star for a second. Star Andrews. Star Andrews was the star of the show. That's what I think. I don't think she skated any better than that probably in her entire life, especially in international competition. I mean, I frankly think she got a little bit underscored. 64.3. Presentation, 7.5, 7.75s. There was 1 8, two. There's 2 8s. I mean, come on. Even, you know what? Let's say the skating skills are 7.25, 7.5. I didn't micro, watch her program to like detail what I think her skating skills should be, but her presentation should be in the 8s for that, for both programs. I mean, she was just so great, and the girls, powerful. She got it done. That was so cool. In the free skate, we did have some under rotation and cue calls here. Alyssa Liu did have two under rotated jumps, the double axel and the triple toe on the combo at the beginning with the Lutz. The Lutz was fine, but the triple toe was under rotated. Anastasia Gubanova, who was second in the free skate, also had two under rotations. She had a rotation on the triple flip and double axel, which, by the way, her free skate was so much better. I really thought that looked good on her. We're gonna not talk about the short program, but I think her free skate and her gorgeous like white and black dress, it was just really striking. I thought she did a really, really good job. She did have a few elements with negative GOEs. Of course, two of them were the under rotated jumps, and then there was one, it did end up with a positive rate of execution, but her second last spin did have a minus from one judge, a 0 from one, and then ones throughout the rest. Renka Watanabe third. She had a downgraded triple axel. That was her second triple axel. That one was quite obvious when you were watching it. She also had a Q called on the Lutz sequence on the Lutz. She also had an under rotation on the other Lutz, and she had an under rotation on the triple sow in her sequence later on when she did the double axel Euler triple Salco. So it's points lost, points lost, points lost, points lost. I think a lot of people thought that Renka would have won. However, she lost, oh my gosh, what was it? She ended up with element score was 69.47, so that dropped probably nearly 10 points off what it showed on the screen. So she got hammered. Laura Naki Gutman was fourth in the free skate, and she was clean as a whistle, did not get one single call. That's so disappointing she wasn't on the podium, because everyone else on the podium had all these calls, so darn it. And fifth, Star Andrews, again, clean as a whistle. She got an edge call on the Lutz. That was it. And then we have some markups after that. Every other skater after that had quite a bit of markups. You can go see the detailed sheets on the ISU website if you'd like. There's a lot. So we're just going to leave it as that. So let's move on to let's move on to men. Okay. Men. I have opinions. Right in the judge's face. That's ballsy. Loved it. Although I will say, so of course I'm talking about Vladimir Litvitsnev from Azerbaijan. He was sixth, fourth in the free. Honestly, probably the best he could have done. Good for him. He got 236.44. Good for you, bud. I don't understand the Looney Toony music prior to him, like when he puffs. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't get it. Why? Like, his free skate is like all over the place. There's a lot of musical changes, and I'm like, what is he doing? He's entertaining because he like pulls out these weird hand gestures of smoking a few times. But yeah, super. Anyways, he actually skated really, really well. Let's see. Okay, we have fifth Daniel Grassel, fourth Jason Brown, third Kazuki Tomono, second Mikhail Shadirov, and your first time champion of a Grand Prix from France, Kevin Amos, the most emotional man on the Grand Prix circuit. Actually, the most emotional person on the Grand Prix circuit, hands down. He just sends me through loops every single time. You know what? We know he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's just so emotional. And you know what? I did kind of had to feel for him because during his interview after the event, when Ashley asked him about his coach and stuff like that, and what it means to him, he goes on about how he was so low in life and he pretty much didn't want to be here anymore, and they're the ones who helped him through it. And so he obviously carries a lot of emotion and trauma and grief, and you know, all these emotions that are pent up, and I feel like skating may be the release for him, especially when he gets so into a program and his emotions are already tapped in. I have a theory that I think that's why when we see him skate particularly really well, that it all comes flooding out, because I think he just trains and tries so hard and he really puts everything into his performance. It opens up his entire heart and mind and it all flows out. And congratulations to him for winning. It was It was a score and a performance that probably wouldn't have won a lot of Grand Prix. However, on this day, it was enough, and I'm very happy for him that he has a Grand Prix gold medal. And of course, it had to have been named Skate America. It doesn't matter when Skate America is. I mean, as long as the event is called Skate America, it doesn't matter what time of year he is going to skate well, because I don't think he skates any other event like he does at Skate America. So hopefully he goes into the World Championships and European Championships thinking that it's called Skate America. Skaters gotta skate. In second place, just a ball of chaos. He skated as unorganized as his hair was getting out of bed this morning. From Kazakhstan, Mikhail Shadirov. I think a lot of people had the nail in the 2x4 that said this man is going to win this event, and then he didn't win this event. He did, however, win the free skate, shockingly. He was third after the short program. So Kevin actually was second in both portions, and he still won. 253.53 to 251.09. So again, you know, we thought that Mikhail was going to be a home run for this title. However, he was not. Let's pull up his protocols here. Ooh. Well, he did open up with a stunning triple axel Euler Euler, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, quadruple Salchow. That was so awesome. 21.25 points he got for that. Honestly, that's literally what made him win, because he botched almost everything after that. So he did get a GOE of 3 and 4 across the board for that. Somehow judge number 6 only gave him a GOE 1. I don't know how you give that a 1, because it was a really, really good opening sequence in his free skate. He did get a fall, an edge, unclear edge, and an under rotation on his quad flip. He got an edge, unclear edge on the other triple flip singularly. He did get a fall and a under rotation on the quadruple toe loop, and he did get a Q on the other final quadruple toe, double toe combination. So that was a whole lot of negatives. His spins, he did get level 4s on his spins. He got a level 3 on his spin as well. He did get a level 2 on his step sequence. The music was all over the place. He was, you know, his like sparkly tunic. I don't know what's going on with it. Just it was, and I think it was like less chaotic than his short program, which is crazy because this one's mega chaotic. Yeah, I think his skating, honestly, I think he's getting marked for skating skills. I feel like he's getting marked a little high. In composition and presentation, um, so he's got 7 points. Okay, composition marks. I'm going to read this out per judge here. 7.75, 8, 7.75, 6.75, 7.75, 7.75, 7.75, 7.25, 8.25. Presentation, 7.5, 7.75, 7.5, 6.5, 7.75, 7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 7.75. Skating skills as well, 7.75, 7.75, 7.75, 7, 8.25, 7.75, 8, 7.75, and 8. His composition and presentation, honestly, I kind of agree with like the 6.75, 6.5 to 7 mark. I think high sevens, mid high sevens is probably a little much because he's just everywhere and very rough and very unrefined. Skating skills also really rough, really scratchy. He's got a lot of work to do in the next Olympic quad to really solidify himself as like a clear favorite. Right now he is an underdog going into the Olympics, but he's got so much of a jump regimen. He could podium at the Olympics for sure. Probably not with a total like he did today with 250 something, but most events that he totals, I think he could make a run for the podium for sure. Kevin Amos, 159.97 in the free skate. He does open up with a quad, hangs on to the quad. He does do a second jump, his quad toe, double toe combination. He did get a Q on that. He had a downgraded second triple axel and an edge call, unclear edge on the triple flip. Let me just scroll down here. All the other men. The only man in the whole event that didn't have a mark beside their name was Liam Kapakis. Mind you, he didn't do any quads, but even Jason Brown. Let's talk about Jason Brown. Jason Brown was third in the free. He did get a Q on his first triple axel, unclear edge on the Lutz, and a under rotated triple flip at the end. He did have a rough go. It's funny because so you look at like this. I mean, Jason's skating skills are, even when he falls, they are so good. His skating is so good. And here we only have his, well, I'm going to compare Jason Brown and Mikhail Shidorov for a second. Mikhail Shidorov had 7.75, 8.25 in skating skills. Jason had 8.5, 8.5, 8.75, 8.25, and a 9. That's not that much of a difference. It was an 8.64 to a 7.82. That's less than a point difference. You guys, come on. You cannot tell me you watch between those programs and those skaters and say there's less than a point difference between Jason and Mikhail. And I enjoy Mikhail in like the wildest way, but let's be real. His skating skills and presentation are not a Jason Brown. They shouldn't even be close. All of his skating skills should be beating him by points, not less than 1 point. That's absolutely crazy. Vladimir Litvinetsev got lower skating skills and everything than Mikhail Shidorov. And I think he's like probably closer to Mikhail than Kevin is. And he's a lot lower, actually. He barely got over 7 for skating skills. he got 7.25 for presentation and a little bit over 7. He got 7.14 for composition. Apparently, the smoke in the judge's face was unappreciated because one of the judges gave him a 6.25. Maybe it was the one he puffed at. That's just a hunch. Nikolai Momola, the gigantic Italian man that stands 6 foot something, 6'3" probably. My God, I'm 5'8". Can you imagine skating beside him? He could be a good pairs partner for another guy that's like short. That'd be crazy. So he, again, his event was like not the greatest. He was a bit of a hot mess. I'm gonna see where. Pardon me. Where did he finish? Oh, he was 7th. Oh wow, he was 8th in the short, 5th in the free. 231.02. Yeah, that's okay. I love that his mother is his coach. That's terrifying. I'm not sure if I could do something like that if my mom was my coach. Like, I understand when you're kids, but like when you're older, crazy. But yeah, so Kevin Amos gold, Mikhail Scheider of silver, Kazuki Tomono bronze. Kazuki Tomono earns the bronze medal after placing first in the free, first in the short, 8th in the free. But his short was pretty good, you guys. His short was very exciting, and he was like eating that up. He ate some good stuff before he went out to the ice, and he was a lot of fun. But he only got 245.17. So let's see what he did with his scores. Kazuki Tomono did have 2 falls at the beginning, and because, well, that did it right there. So 2 falls at the beginning, both were quads, so he didn't get the combo out, so he got a repetition for that. So his second quad, he only got 1.9 points. His first quad only got 4.75. So essentially, I mean, he lost a ton of points. Even somebody with like 2 clean triples would have been getting like probably 13 points with GOE. So he was like a lot back. I don't know what else I have to say about men. What's exciting about men? Okay, actually, I do have something exciting about men to say. I want my opinion to be heard about Jason Brown. This may or may not be popular. Let's talk a little bit about Riverdance. This was a huge hype factor coming up into the season that Jason was bringing back Riverdance. I watched the CBC interview that Jason did, and they asked him about bringing back Riverdance and how they had tried it. You know, Jason had said they had tried it multiple times to bring it back, and it felt forced, and this time they decided to bring it back, and it ended up working. So he decided to bring it back. Here's my thing. I'm not a huge fan of the composition of the program and the music cuts of the program. The way he's doing the music. So, well, the music I think is fine. I think the composition and his choreography are a little bit off to it. There's parts that I really like, and there's nuances in the music that he hits with a split jump or like maybe going into a spin or something. But particularly, I would say in his step sequence, when he's weaving back and forth, the step sequence is gorgeous without that music. The music is building, it's getting faster. He's going deeper edges. It seems to be slower. Then he goes into his 2 last spins, and the music is hyping, the music is hyping, the music is hyping. And he does like a spin fest at the end where I'm like, I want to see you river dance. I want to see you, Shaylin Bourne and Victor Kratz down that ice hydroblade and tap your toes into that ice. Pick your picks in the ice and show me some tap dance and river dance. And I didn't see it. And that's what I want. And I'm sticking by it. I think it was underwhelming. And I think he can do a lot better. And I don't think the way the river dance is right now is going to put him in the running at the Olympics for, like, I would say even a top 6. I think if he skates completely clean, I don't even know, because I think his skating skills, I think his composition, and I think his presentation is being sold short on this. He should be over 9s for most of those, and he's not. So I think that they need to rework this river dance program, and I think that they need to compose and choreograph it a little bit better. There, I said it. Daniel Grassel, the Pope, has been elected. His white chest has been shown. I don't mean his white skin, because he's pretty white. I mean, like, what the fabric underneath. When he opened it, it's white. The Pope was chosen. I think the Pope, I wonder if the Pope was watching. I wonder if the Pope streamed Skate America. I'd love to know. If anyone has any intel on that, let me know. I wonder if the Pope approved this program, because I don't think he approved of Daniel Grassel's skating mistakes. They were plenty of them. He ended up having 2 under-rotated quads and a Q on both his jumps in the triple axel sequence. After that, he did do a few triple jumps and a triple axel sequence, and he did not get called on any of them. But, I mean, his first 1, 2, 3, 4 jumping passes were a mistake. He doubled out on his first one, under rotation on the loop, under rotation on the flip, QQ on the axle and the toe. Just super not great. His step sequences, step sequence was a level 3, only got 2s and 1s for GOE. His change spin was level 3. His last 2 spins were a level 4. So his components as well. See, again, skating skills. Like, he's in the high 7s, low 8s. Like, I don't know. I think you're cutting that close to Jason Brown, and I don't think you should be that close. I think we need to try and stretch the scoring a little bit farther. Just because they're in a Grand Prix event and in the top however many does not justify you getting an 8-point something for a presentation when you don't need it, or skating skills when it's, like, not warranted. Anyways, okay, so that's the men. Pairs. What the happened in pairs, you guys? That event was wild. David Schwimmer of Friends won a bronze medal. And by David Schwimmer, I mean Lucas Etier and his partner, Kellyanne Lauren, who had them to finish second in the free skate. I'm Canadian. I didn't even have them in my top 5. So I don't think anybody had them on the podium, to be quite frank. And if you did, I mean, good for you. And you must have some serious psychic capabilities, because, wow. They were second in the free skate. And granted, like, they did have a pretty decent free skate, but I mean, let's be real. There's a lot of skaters here that are they're just better than them. Everyone just happened to suck today. Nobody was great. Mira and Kiara were decent. But, like, even the Georgians were 4th in the free. They were leading after the short. But, like, their free was, let me take a look at their protocol. It was terrible, you guys. They missed a lift. There was multiple teams who missed lifts here. Like, this is crazy. Where did they get 0? I don't see. Okay, to just not like. Oh, that's not them. Yeah, so their group 5 lift just was a 0. It wasn't even graded because it didn't happen. They literally just didn't do the lift. I mean, you lost. Like right there, you lost 9 to 10 points with GOE. They ended up having so their triple sal with a fall, their throw triple flip was good, but their triple toe was a rep because it wasn't a combo, so they had no combo, so they only got 1.6 points for that. 1.62. That's so crazy, you guys. Their skating skills were still in the primarily mid 8s. Presentation was down a bit, but honestly could have been lower given for that program specifically. 8s, 8.5, 7.75, 7.25. Competition, same thing, pretty much. A little bit higher than the presentation. Haka and Kunkel of Germany, again, another lift that was missed. I don't remember the last senior Grand Prix competition that had misses from so many different pair teams. Misses, falls, just everything happened here. Everything happened. I think, maybe there was a little bit of smoke left and the skaters couldn't breathe properly on the ice because of people smoking on the ice and blowing it towards the judges at the boards. I'm just kidding. I don't even know if that timeline would work from Vladimir, but it was funny to say. Then we have. I had high hopes. Okay, so the Armenian team. Let's talk about them for a second. Karina Akapova and Nikita Rakhmanin. I actually had them third in my picks, and I ended up wrong. However, they were fourth in the short program. They had a really good outing, and I had so many hopes for them, and unfortunately, they also just didn't have the best free skate. They had. First of all, their throws are phenomenal, by the way. Their throws are just huge. And for a team that isn't seen much on the Grand Prix circuit, I think they turned a lot of eyes around them, specifically in the short program. They did have a lot of negative GOE elements. In the free skate, they had a fall on their last element, which gave them a 0, didn't count because it didn't end up finishing or happening. They do, I'm a little bit surprised at program components. Well, I guess I'm not really that surprised because they're kind of slower in areas, but they're mid 6s. Their lowest was a 5.75 for presentation by 5.25. So their presentation needs work. Yeah. Well, so anyways, your results for the pairs end up being Mira and Kiara, which blow away the field to 15.99. Let's take a look at their protocols for a second. They only had one call. They did get the triple toe downgraded triple toe under rotation on their sequence that they messed up when they just had the single axle at the end. Or I don't even know if it was an axle, to be honest with you. So that only gave them, their sequence gave them 1.83 points, so they lost a lot there, and they still end up smashing. They still got 141.57, and that was with a major mistake. So that goes to show you how strong they really are. They still had 9s in skating skills. They had 9s, high 8s in presentation, and 9s, mid to low 9s, high 8s on composition. So they absolutely blew everyone out of the water. So your final results. So pairs are from Japan, Murikara, Georgians second, Medalkina and Barulova, and Kellyanne Lauren and Lucas Etier of Canada are the bronze medalists. Emily Chan and Spencer Akira Howe were fourth. From the United States, Haka and Kunkel were fifth. Akapova and Rachmanin are sixth. Plazas Fernandez seventh. Flores and Wang are eighth. Now let's go to ice dance. So I've read a lot online about these conspiracy theories that the United States Skating Association is pushing their skaters down and marking them lower, and they're just getting ripped off, and I'm really not buying into that, to be quite honest with you. Listen, Carrera and Ponomarenko were fifth in last year's World Championships. They were also fifth in this year's Skate America. Their scores are off. I mean, I kind of think they're justified. I don't think their programs are as good as they were before, to be quite honest with you. Also, as well, their skating skills, particularly, okay, so we're going to jut out to the side here. The level calling in this event was wildly harsh / consistent. At least it was consistent. They were not the only victims of it. Pretty much everyone was victims of it. There were, let me pull it up because I have it on my Twitter account. The Free Skate on Twitter. I posted the number of levels called. So very strict level calling in the dance. The free dance step sequence's highest levels was La Joya and Laga at level 3 and 2. Out of a level 4, everyone else had both level 2 or lower in the rhythm dance. On the pattern style step sequence, on the pattern style step, there were 3 base levels called. 4 level 1s and 2 level 2s. So the highest level called was a level 2. Which is very low, and that is including Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. They did get level 2s on those. Going back and looking at some of the steps that were in these patterns, they were somewhat justified. I didn't look at everyone, but a good one to pick apart here is Christina Carrera and Anthony Ponomarenko. So if you look at their pattern style and their steps and their dance there was a graphic online that showed, I think this was NBC, I think Johnny Weir was doing this. He had the depth of edges of the pattern, Chalk and Bates versus Carrera and Ponomarenko. And Chalk and Bates were weaving through, like this is the ice rink here. They were weaving through deep edges, really taking their time around the edge and like getting that like full pattern. Ponomarenko were like, so it was rushed and the pattern was kind of missing. B, the turns were very, very rough. The turns pretty much didn't exist. The Choctaws, the brackets, all of those, specifically with Anthony's skate, were essentially missed and or really rough or coming in and out of the wrong edge. That could have been because they were skating a little bit faster in the pattern. I'm not entirely sure. Lajoie and Laga did get the higher of the numbers in these steps. I think they just had more clear edges in the steps than the rest of them. This is something that they're really going to have to work on if they're going to be calling these like this. It could make a big difference, particularly at the Olympics when everyone is being judged over the same things, and you got consistent level 1 and 2s versus somebody who might have a consistent level 4. I mean, when you're with one element, I mean, you're missing, I don't know, let's say half a point of base value. But you times that by a few elements, I mean, you're getting, like, that's going to add up. And in ice dance, I mean, there's no huge jumps where you can just gain back 5-6 points on an element. So these things are going to add up and make a huge difference. And so I really think these dance teams need to be taking these edges really seriously. So I don't buy into the whole, the Federation is putting them down because Christina doesn't have her citizenship and she might not have them for the Olympics and blah. Because, like, no, I'm sorry, that's not what it is. Because, you know what, Zingis and Kolesnik have already had pretty high scores, higher than Carrera and Ponomarenko. So I don't think that's a thing. Una Brown, Gage Brown, really, I thought they were very creative, original, choreographical skates. I thought what they did on the ice for them right now was awesome. The flip over the sister was such a highlight. I thought that was so cool because, like, we haven't really seen it. It fit the music. You know what? Can they be faster? Can they be a little bit more technical? Can they be more friendly? Yeah. But what they did here, I thought it was one of my favorite skates, to be quite honest with you. I also really like Luisha Demajo and Theo Lemercier. I think they're an upcoming French team, and I think we need to watch out for them for the next Olympics after 2026. I think they're so creative, and I really, really like watching them. Lajoie and Laga, their rhythm dance, it's a very polarizing opinion. I, for one, like it. I know people who don't like it, and I also know people who like it. It is all over the place. They were inspired by the Dallas Stars cheerleader team, which totally makes sense. They have their, like, sports stuff on, which, by the way, can I just put it out there, Zach? I mean, you're probably not watching this, but if you are, I think you in, like, a box crop top, like, with your shirt already, like, cut that stuff, like, woo! Yes. Please. That would look so good. That's so 90s jock to have, like, that crop top. I know you can rock it. That would be so great. Paul rocked an open back last year. You can rock an open crop. Their rhythm dance is just, it's a speed race. They are so fast from start to finish. They don't stop. They are fit. I mean, they run a sprint the entire thing. They're to one end to the other, in and out, and their fist pumps and the music changes, which are a whole other issue. But they're like, I'm here for it. I'm here for the chaotic mess that it is, and I thoroughly enjoy watching it. So, yeah, Chalk and Bates, their rhythm dance is fine. I did really like their free dance a lot better than I previously liked it. She did change her costume. She got rid of the gigantic duvet cover, and she made it a smaller duvet cover, and she's now all black with him being all black. Not a mega fan of the all black because I think it's just too much all black. I would like to see some color pop, whether you're, like, going to put on some golden bedazzled suspenders on Evan, or, like, I don't know, something, and like just like add a little bit of like something to it. I don't think you need to do like a ton to the costume, but like, just put something on it, because right now it's just two black blobs, and sometimes I don't know if it's maybe just my eyes, but when they're on the white ice surface and see the whiteboards behind you, I kind of see them mesh into one. And sometimes when they're doing like features and lifts and spins and stuff, like it's hard to see because they just all blend in together. So I think there should be a little bit of contrast there somewhere. But her dress didn't scare me like it did the other day, although in practice they did have a fall on the slide move because they fall on the dress. So I mean, that didn't happen this time, but I mean, maybe that's something to think about. They're probably going to keep it the way it is. Usually ice dancers throughout the year figure out how to manipulate the dress and use it properly, so by the time Olympics come they should be okay. They're pretty professional with it, so that's probably not a worry. But they ended up getting 212.58, Chalk and Bates 212.58 to win the event. Lajoie and Lago 197.16. There's a big point difference there. I'm not a professional ice dance judge, or any judge for that matter. I don't see 14-point difference. I mean, I just don't. I think that Lajoie and Lago should be closer to Piper and Paul scores, and they're still not. They have had mid 120s before in the free skate. They're still not there. I don't quite understand why, because I think their skating is gorgeous, especially with the White Crow program that they're back with now this year. I think their White Crow program is really, really good. And I think they reinvented it in a really gorgeous way. They did end up getting composition out of 9s, 9.5, 9.25, high 8s as well. So that was great. Their presentation the same. They did get some 9s, mid 9s, high 8s, and as well as skating skills was slightly lower, but not much lower. The 1 foot twizzle section, level 1 and level 2, I mean, those things, I mean, you got to get those level 4s. You got to get your levels up. Levels up, putting all your things at a level 4 here. Well, they're synchronized twizzles, both of them. You know, they're opening synchronized twizzles, level 2s. So, I mean, they could be getting 122, 123 with level 4s across the board, probably. I would still like to see them get higher than that, but I would love them to be like 124, 125. And I think that's completely realistic because they're really, really, really good skaters. We have... What are you doing? So in third place, for the free dance and the rhythm dance was Evgenia Lapreva and Jeffrey Brissot of France. So let's see what their levels were here. 1 foot twizzles, level 1, level 2, woman, man, midline step, both 2s, synchronized twizzles, 2 and 3. They did get level 4 on their lift. Both level 4s, it was the combo lift. So they didn't max out their levels on their twizzles or their steps, which seems to be, again, that's been an entire event thing. It's just, these dance teams are going to have to figure out their levels by the Olympics, because if they're going to want to score their maxes, I mean, these level 1s, bases, and level 2s are absolutely killing teams. It's crazy. And if they're going to be that strict the entire time, then that's going to be, a problem for a lot of them. We have... Yeah, that's pretty much the event, you guys. I don't think I have anything else to add. So our next event is going to be Finlandia, coming up this week. I was so excited to see the Finnish dance team, and they had to pull out again. So that's sad, because the hometown crowd, I'm sure, was really going to go for them. But, alas, there is still the other team, Orhar and Pirinen, but they probably are not going to the Olympics, so that's, not the greatest, but they are very, very entertaining. I can't wait to see Spicer Girls again. And then after that, we have the Grand Prix final. So that is going to be the first time that we see all the competitive teams together in the same event. I think it's going to be very, very interesting for scoring. Very interesting, particularly for ice dance and women, because we haven't seen any of these heavyweights come together in the same event all together. And for future Grand Prix events, I was thinking, some of these events should have more than 6. I think maybe you should have the top 8, because I think you would have so much more excitement. But okay, so we will see you guys for Finlandia Trophy next week. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, The Free Skate, Apple Podcasts, here on YouTube, and on socials, The Free Skate. Bye.